Hey everyone, Couch Investor back to another video for you today. So it's been a while since I covered AMD, so a little refresher of what has been happening with the company. The company this past month is actually up around 20% or so. nvidia is up around 40% or so since the lows around $120. That will probably be covered in the next video. But AMD, pretty good news across the board, specifically related to the company and also related to the semiconductor industry. For example, with TSMC. So they came out with their October revenue report. So on a consolidated basis, revenue for October 2022 increased by 1% quarter over quarter, but increased 56.3% year over year, which has pushed all the semiconductor stock way up because, well, TSMC, probably the biggest foundry out there, seeing that grow 56% year over year, pretty good sign, all things considered. Now, it's not the only positive thing we're going to talk about in this video. I'm also going to touch on, well, go over the graph at the end of it if you're interested in that. Before we do so, if you want to support me and this channel, maybe hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you have not. And if you want to support me and the channel specifically, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment to get the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couchinvestor. Make sure to check out all the other links in the pinned comment. So more recently, AMD came out with their newest chip with regards to data center. So of course, this is the 4th gen AMD EPYC processor with unmatched performance for critical workloads across cloud, enterprise, and high performance computing, or HPC. They say here, choosing the right data center processor is more important than ever, and 4th gen EPYC processor deliver leadership in every dimension. This is obviously language that you will see across the board, whether it's Intel, AMD, or nvidia. And Intel, by the way, is coming out with their own pretty soon, well, unless it's delayed yet again. Now, why is data center pretty important? Because maybe you don't remember, but during the last earnings report, whether it's AMD or nvidia, which I think we're still gonna cover that, but maybe not with Intel, which was a bit meh. But with AMD, you can see here on a GAAP basis that data center net revenue increased 45% year over year, operating income 64% year over year, and compared to the rest of the business, besides embedded, but hey, we're not really gonna touch on that because that includes now the acquisition of Xilinx, and so the numbers are, well, pumped up, as they say. But data center, as you see, we've seen that with nvidia as well, it's extremely important for this business. And if you need a quick reminder for the quarter, so revenue increased 29% year over year, gross profit increased 13%, but gross margin was down 610 basis points. This is, by the way, on a GAAP basis. Operating expenses increased 113%. Operating income, so here a loss, 64 million, that's down 107%. Operating margin down 23 percentage points, it's negative 1%. Then net income was just $66 million, down 93%, and then earnings per share of 4 cents, which is down 95%. And this again is on a GAAP basis. On a non-GAAP basis, things look a bit better, but then again, for a business like AMD, sometimes you do want to look at GAAP. And as for the financial outlook, this is only given as non-GAAP, revenue to grow approximately 14% year over year, gross margin to be at around 51%, operating expenses $1.55 billion as a percentage of revenue, approximately 28%. For the full year, it's a bit less, 25%. But for the full year, gross margin is expected to be a bit more, 52%. That's because, well, the first quarter of the year were obviously much better. Overall, they expect to grow this year, fiscal year 2022, 43% year over year to approximately $23.5 billion. So overall, there's really nothing to complain about with AMD, unless you obviously bought the top and now you're sitting on, well, huge losses. But overall, the business has become better. Of course, we're now in a down cycle. And yes, of course, semiconductors have cycles as well. So yes, short-term pain, long-term gain. AMD is an extremely strong business. I personally don't own it right now. I used to own it when it was $22, sold it at $64. I bought it when everybody thought it was going bankrupt. I did the same with nvidia after the first huge crypto bull turned into a winter back in 2019. Of course, it went higher and higher. I sold a bit early. hey, I don't care, gains are gains. But for those that do hold AMD, this is an extremely strong business with a very bright future. Now, obviously, like I said, if you look at the graph and you bought around here, $150, then yes, you are sitting on huge losses. Of course, you can still dollar cost average. That's fine. Now, for those that are asking what are those two lines here, so the last time I covered AMD, I put those two lines here as a, let's say, buying area, support area, which, to my surprise, was close to spot on, I would say. Now, what's interesting here is as we zoom in, red line, 20-day moving average, green line, 50. And we can see, and this is the weekly chart, by the way, we can see a big green candle going over that 50-day moving average. That's great. Let's see if they can keep that and maybe make our way to the 200 one. Now, another positive thing I would say is that the MACD is still negative. It's on its way to turn green, to be positive, which means if we can continue with the green candles on a weekly basis, we might be going even higher and maybe go over that 200-day moving average. Again, technical analysis can move extremely fast on a day-to-day basis. You can draw lines from any direction, circles, you name it. It's not a crystal ball that will tell you exactly what will happen. It can just help you. And of course, if you've done some technical analysis yourself and you have some comments, leave it down in the comments below. I'm always keen to learn a bit more with regards to technical analysis, so don't be shy. Write it down in the comments below and also share your thoughts overall with regards to AMD. If you enjoyed this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, maybe hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.